Imagine you're looking for a service that will allow you to host and share your photos. You come across a positively reviewed premium service offering a lifetime membership, promising to keep your photos safe, secure, and accessible for life. Great, you sign up. Then, a few years later, and with little warning, they quietly retire the lifetime memberships. But don't worry, not long after, they rescind their rescinding and give it back. Until another few years go by and they are acquired by a company that ends lifetime memberships for good. And at that point offer nothing more than a few $100 in expiring credit and the very real threat of losing your digital memories. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Britney and today we are getting into the tale of Phanfare. Pretend I'm throwing sand into a fire and it's exploding. Phanfare was founded in 2004 by Andrew Erlichson and Mark Heinrich, at a time when digital cameras and camcorders were becoming more accessible to everyday users. As more people filled their computers with photos and home videos, the need for reliable long-term storage was quickly growing. Phanfare set out to solve that with a seamless, secure, and personalized platform that let users sync their media from their desktop and make it available to view online. What made them stand out early on was their storage support for video, which most services of this type just weren't offering solutions for. With your entire library stored on the web, your content was always available no matter what computer you were using forever. They focused heavily on private sharing. Albums were designed to be shared intentionally with friends, family, or clients via sleek password-protected links. To show they were serious with their intentions, they adopted a subscription pricing model from the very start, boasting that they were able to be totally ad-free and wouldn't hold your photos hostage like free services that might use your content for their own profit. They wanted to make it clear they were building something professional, not disposable. Then, at the end of 2005, Phanfare made a big move. They announced their lifetime membership program. For a one-time payment of $299.95, users could lock in access to all of Phanfare's unlimited features. As Erlichson, who served as Phanfare's CEO, put it in their program announcement, lifetime members pay once upfront and then are guaranteed online access to their photos and videos for life. As our lifetime members migrate from computer to computer throughout their lives, their media will always be available to them at a moment's notice. Now, this could be seen as a way to get an influx of revenue quickly, but it is also a pretty clear message that we're here and your memories are safe with us. It was a big way to build a fiercely loyal core user base and, more importantly, instill trust in the product. Phanfare continued to offer both its lifetime membership and other subscription tiers, and in November of 2007, they secured another round of funding, raising $2.5 million. According to a VentureBeat article from the time, despite positive feedback from users, the company was still struggling with profitability. Erlichson cited market saturation as the main obstacle, suggesting that many of the freemium competitors were operating at a perpetual loss, and Phanfare was banking on the idea that eventually there'd be a shakeout in the space once those free models packed it up and got out of Dodge. Erlichson also teased that Phanfare was about to do something radically different with their business model, but the article makes it clear that they weren't planning to go free anytime soon. Just 2 months after that article in January of 2008, Phanfare followed through on the promise to shake things up, rolling out a major 2.0 update that reimagined the platform as something closer to a social network. They introduced features that let users create connections with each other, share galleries with their network, and leave comments on photos. And you probably won't believe it, but right after saying they wouldn't go freemium, Phanfare 2.0 rolled out a brand new free tier. At the same time, they ended the lifetime membership program, and from what I could glean from different bloggers, nudged lifers to a recurring paying tier, or suggested they move to a competitor. Needless to say, this all didn't sit well with their longtime users, and the responses to this update were less than impressed. Beyond the feelings of betrayal that lifetime members were having, a major source of frustration came from the update itself. Old gallery links were suddenly broken, and anyone wanting to view a Phanfare album now had to create an account. Sure, it led to more user signups, but at the cost of a whole lot of goodwill. Also, random people signing up for a free service that just want to view an album isn't going to turn into meaningful conversions. 40,000 new signups doesn't mean anything if they aren't ever planning to pay for an account. That's not user growth, it's just friction disguised as engagement. After the less than stellar reception of 2.0, Phanfare began walking things back and reintroduced features that users had been vocal about missing. In a comment left on a user's blog in November of 2008, Erlickson acknowledged the missteps, writing, "It has been nearly 6 months since we made changes to the Phanfare service, and since that time have learned our lessons and reincorporated many of the features that were initially omitted from the 2.0 system. I hope you will consider giving us a try again." By 2009, the social media-ness of Phanfare was pretty much discontinued along with the freemium offer, and while they didn't bring back the lifetime membership offer, they did transition those that previously signed up for a lifetime membership to a Lifetime Pro membership, essentially a legacy tier to honor those early adopters of the system. They got some people back on their side, but it seemed like the luster that Phanfare once had was pretty tarnished, and users were now watching very closely. Things stayed relatively quiet on the Phanfare front after that. There were a few updates here and there, some improvements to sharing, a bit of polish for mobile, but nothing massive. From the outside, Phanfare seemed to have course corrected effectively. Behind the scenes, though, things weren't so stable. The company was struggling and in need of saving. So in June 2011, Phanfare was acquired by Carbonite, a well-known online backup service. With that acquisition came an announcement that I don't think users really anticipated. Carbonite would no longer honor Phanfare's Lifetime Pro memberships, and they didn't offer refunds either. Instead, lifetime users were given $299 in Phanfare credit, which would expire after 3 years if unused. I'm not entirely sure how many Lifetime Pro members Phanfare retained or got back after the 2.0 fiasco, but those that were still around and wrote about the situation weren't too thrilled. And I don't blame them. These were the people who invested early in a system full of ambition, stuck around through the awkward social media twist, and hung in there during every course correction. Then, just as things seemed to finally settle for them, in comes a new parent company, and boom, the original investment doesn't matter. And the consolation prize is credits with a timer. Regardless of the risks involved in any long-term online subscription, it will always feel like a rug pull when a service shifts gears seemingly overnight. And I have a lot of empathy for all of those Phanfare lifers, even today. Days after that Carbonite announcement, Erlickson did reach out to the Lifetime Pro members to shed some light on the struggles that they were facing, as well as clarify that refunds, if requested, would be paid from whatever was left of Phanfare Inc., not Carbonite. The speed at which I would volunteer for an opportunity to be a fly on the wall of a Phanfare Carbonite meeting at this time, I think it would probably break the sound barrier. Come May 2012, Erlickson parts ways with Phanfare/Carbonite, and it feels like things kind of slow down and just go quiet again for the service. The system kept chugging along with no major updates, or at least none that I could find. That is, until around April 13th, 2017, when users were notified that Phanfare would officially shut down on May 28th. Users were advised to migrate their data to SmugMug, a premium photo service similar in spirit to Phanfare, before the deadline, or risk losing everything. Keep in mind, some users had been with Phanfare for a decade with unlimited storage. That's a lot of data suddenly needing to be accessed, downloaded, and moved. Even if only a modest number of people stuck around through all the changes, all of those people trying to retrieve their archives at once must have caused some serious slowdowns. And if those slowdowns were too much, according to one user, customer support offered to send their data on DVDs for $1,200. Then, just like that, on June 1st, 2017, Phanfare officially shut down. The site was replaced with a farewell message thanking users for 12 years of support and pointing them towards SmugMug as their new photo home. It was a chaotically quick and impersonal ending for a service that, in its earliest days, had proudly marketed itself as a place for your photos and videos to live for life. And as a final goodbye, they left visitors with these eye-melting blue links on a black backdrop, a heinously designed parting gift. Throughout this whole deep dive, I kept wondering, was the downfall of Phanfare preventable or inevitable? Is there a world where they didn't try to rebrand themselves into a social platform or turn their backs on loyal users in favor of a freemium model? Could they have worked on grandfathering in lifers, or at least communicate with them better prior so that every change wasn't so jarring? If their original mission of offering a premium, secure home for digital memories hadn't gotten distracted, would Phanfare have survived the photo sharing shakeout? To their credit, the founders of this company, especially Erlickson, were present, responsive, and pretty involved in the Phanfare community, and really did seem to love the product. Nearly every blog or forum thread I came across had a thoughtful reply from him, even when the original poster was not a happy customer. I mean, this guy hadn't been the CEO for 5 years, and he was still in the forum's post-shutdown announcement, helping people figure out how to migrate their stuff and get in touch with SmugMug. I know the bar for leadership is in the dirt, but that's still pretty awesome of him. Obviously, we'll never know what could have been. The reality is that Phanfare is now just a ghost product, roaming the halls of the Wayback Machine, waiting to haunt someone with an interest in fallen brands. I am curious though, were you a user of Phanfare or did you know anyone who was? Let me know in the comments what your experience was like and if you took their suggestion and transitioned to SmugMug. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you've enjoyed this little look into a ghost brand of seasons past, I hope you'll consider liking, subscribing, and hitting that little bell to be alerted whenever I release a new video. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.